Economics. I, Ritu Gupta, am going to take you through the presentation on determination of price and quantity. Having gone through this presentation, I am sure you will be able to understand the meaning and determination of price, explain the price determination with the help of demand and supply schedules and diagrams, know of the price equilibrium with the help of again schedules and diagrams, and learn about excess demand and excess supply and the readjustments from these situations. You will also be able to understand the effect of changes in demand and supply on equilibrium price and quantity of a commodity. Let us first understand the meaning of price. What is price? Price refers to the amount of money which is paid by a buyer to purchase one unit of a commodity, and this price is what we are going to learn how it is determined in the market. Factors that influence the price are: number one, the cost of production. This picture shows, or it tells, much more than 1,000 words. The second factor which influences the price is the price fixed by other sellers in the market. So, a producer will fix a price according to the price which is fixed by other sellers in the market. Yes, it can also be a big price war out there. The third factor is the expected sale at different prices. You may have been planning a sale as a producer or a seller, and that definitely affects the market price for the commodity. Now let us understand equilibrium price. Equilibrium price refers to the price at which the demand of a commodity is equal to its supply. That means whatever the consumers are demanded is being sold by the suppliers. You can see the supply curve which is upward sloping and the demand curve which is downward sloping. Where the two meet is what is known as the equilibrium price. In this manner, the forces of demand and supply together help to form or go in to form the equilibrium price in the market. It's like a tug of war or a contest between the supply and the demand forces, the demand being executed by the consumers and the supply being executed by the producers of different products. It needs to be repeated over and over again that both demand and supply play an important role in determination of equilibrium price. Both are equally important. Demand has an inverse relationship with price. As we saw, it was a downward sloping demand curve, while there is a direct relationship between supply and price. Again, recall the supply curve was upward sloping. This is the demand and supply schedule. The price of chocolates 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 rupees and the number of chocolates demanded. As we can see, as the price is increasing, number of chocolates demanded are decreasing. On the other hand, market supply of chocolates, as the price is increasing, producers find it more profitable, so the quantity supplied is also increasing. Let us see now. At price of 2 rupees, there is a shortage or surplus of minus 80. What will we call this? Since demand is greater than supply, it is a surplus. Again, at price of 4, there is a surplus, or what we can call it as an excess demand. At price ₹6, there is this special arrow showing that we have finally reached a price where quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. So, there is neither a surplus nor a shortage, and this is known as the equilibrium level. Beyond the equilibrium level of price, we can see there is excess supply of the commodity, and so there is a excess supply here for the commodity. Hence, the demand and supply schedule help us understand equilibrium price. The same can also be shown with the help of a diagram. We plot price on the y-axis and we plot quantities on the x-axis. The intersection of the upward sloping supply curve and the downward sloping demand curve give us what is known as the equilibrium price and quantity. Now, what if there is disequilibrium in the market? That means, is it always possible for the price to come down to the level of equilibrium or move up or beyond the level of equilibrium? Yes, there is such possibility, and for this we need to understand the two situations that occur in case of a disequilibrium. These are excess demand and excess supply. Again, let us go into the details of each one of them. In case of excess demand, there is the situation when quantity demanded is more than quantity supplied at the prevailing market price. That means demand is much more than the supply. Hence the term excess demand. This situation arises when the market price is less than the equilibrium price. That is, as we can see here, the equilibrium price is here. However, the market price comes down to this level P1, and at this level P1 we can see that quantity supplied is Q1, whereas quantity demanded is QD. This much is excess demand, that is QS1 and QD1. The gap QD1 minus QS1 is excess demand. Let us now understand what happens in situation of excess supply. Excess supply refers to the situation when the quantity supplied is more than the quantity demanded. This situation arises when the market price is more than the equilibrium price. Can we see this graphically also? Yes. Here we can see that this is the equilibrium price. However, the market price is much higher. At this higher price, quantity demanded is QD1, quantity supplied is QS1. The difference, which is QS1 minus QD1, is excess supply. See, supply is more than demand. So, this is a situation of excess supply. Now, in case of excess demand, when there is excess demand and prevailing market price is less than the equilibrium price, there emerges a competition amongst buyers and they are ready to pay more than the market price. This leads to the fall in demand and rise in supply of the commodity. Increased price means fall in demand and increased price means rise in supply. So, this is what results in case of excess demand, as a result of which here the price moves back, has a tendency to move back to the equilibrium price, which is P1, and equilibrium quantity, which is Q3. So, unless and until these automatic adjustments are taken care of, then the market price may prevail. However, if automatic adjustments which cause the demand to shrink and the supply to increase are there, the equilibrium price is regained. Let us understand the same in case of excess supply, that is, how is equilibrium price determined when there is excess supply. When there is excess supply and prevailing market price is more than equilibrium price, there emerges a competition amongst the sellers and they are ready to sell more. Now, this is interesting. Let us see this in the diagram. This is a situation of excess supply. When price is more, suppliers will try to reduce the supply, and this automatic adjustment goes on happening till this equilibrium level is achieved, till P1, Q3 are achieved. This is hence what happens in case of excess demand and supply. Now, what is the effect of change in demand on equilibrium price and quantity? We have to understand this. First, let us understand increase in demand and decrease in demand. Let me just remind you that increase and decrease in demand are going to cause the demand curve to shift. Let us take the case of increase in demand first. In case of increase in demand, we can see the demand curve shifts outwards to the right as shown, and as a result of this, equilibrium shifts to this. The equilibrium price rises and so does the equilibrium quantity. So, in case of increase in demand leads to increase in both equilibrium price and quantity. Let us take the case of decrease in demand. Here there is decrease in demand, that means a inward shift of the demand curve. As a result of this, equilibrium shifts and price falls from P0 to P1 and from Q0 to Q1. So, in case of decrease in demand, the decrease in demand leads to decrease in both equilibrium price and quantity. Let us now look at the effect of change in supply on equilibrium price and quantity. Again, the same two situations, increase in supply wherein the supply curve will shift outwards and decrease in supply wherein the supply curve will shift inwards. Here is the diagram showing, yes, increase in supply because the supply curve has shifted outwards. Now, this increase in supply causes equilibrium also to shift. This equilibrium shows that there is a fall in price and an increase in quantity. Hence, increase in supply leads to decrease in equilibrium price and increase in equilibrium quantity. Let us go to the effect of decrease in supply on equilibrium price and quantity. As shown in the diagram, the supply curve shifts inwards and leftwards. As a result, equilibrium is also shifting. So, this causes price to increase and quantity to fall. Hence, a decrease in supply leads to increase in equilibrium price and decrease in equilibrium quantity. I hope that today's presentation has been explanatory with the use of diagrams. Look forward to giving you more such presentations. Thank you and all the best.